Right, I'm going to make what I call a mustard mayonnaise, and it's based on the recipes you get in Brittany and Normandy. So it's got quite a lot of mustard in it, but it is essentially a mayonnaise. The thing I like about it is, first of all, it's made in a machine. Now, I expect you would want to see me beating everything up in a bowl, but actually this is what I really do. And this is the mayonnaise we use in all our restaurants, so you are getting the real deal. The other thing I really like about a mayonnaise, it doesn't waste an egg white because the whole egg goes in there. So first of all, in there, a whole egg. Now then, the ingredients. Now it's only going to be like 300 mils of oil, sunflower oil, but I do insist on a whole teaspoon of salt in there. Now you may say that's going to be very salty, but what I always say about sauces is that there's only a little amount of sauce with a lot of whatever you're putting with it. So it doesn't matter if it's a bit accentuated, a bit exaggerated, because that's what sauces are all about. And now white wine vinegar, just a little over a teaspoon. By that I just mean fill it up a little bit too much. And finally, the only other ingredient that goes in there apart from the oil is mustard, a tablespoon of mustard. And it's not any old mustard, it's Coleman's hot English mustard, or any hot English mustard. If you're in Australia, Keen's. Now this is the tricky bit, because it always sticks in the side of a mixer. And you never get quite a whole tablespoon in there, that's why I heaped it all up, but that'll be enough. Now turn on, from now on it's noisy. Note I'm using just a little sort of mini part of the food processor. I'm only making what I would call half a pint. Unless you're making more, don't use the big one because it just doesn't work. The blade doesn't pick it up easily enough. So I'm just leaving that on for a little bit because the egg was a bit cold, and one of the main things about mayonnaise is make sure that everything that you put in there is at room temperature, but the egg was in the fridge. So we'll just leave that for about half a minute just to generate a bit of warmth. So now to add the oil, and like as if I was manually making mayonnaise in a bowl, just don't add it too quickly first time round, particularly as you've got egg white in there as well. So you just a little scream, and after a while of making mayonnaise, you can actually hear that it's working properly. Not yet, and by looking at it, if you've made mayonnaise and had as many failures as I have had, you will know how important this stage is. Yes, it's working. It's much easier to get it to work like this. You can see that it's beginning to thicken. Actually, the other good thing about this is I've used a really rich egg yolk, so you get a lovely yellow colour with that. Now, as you see, I'm adding the oil a little quicker than I was, and I can hear, you can tell by just the different noise emanating from the bowl that it is all emulsifying. And now you can see the marks of the blade in the mayo. I'm going to make sure I add the complete lot, the complete oil content, which I think makes the perfect thickness of mayonnaise. You can hear it purring now. Yes, I am made. I am happy. And as the last oil goes in there, it's hardly capable of turning round and round, it's so thick. So just leave that for about another 10 seconds. Et voila, it's done. Take the top off. And first and most importantly, have a little taste. It's very salty, very mustardy, but very good. I just love simple things like this. I mean, people say, what's your secret passion? And I just say, crab, mayonnaise and bread. And they say, well, that's not very passionate, that's not very secret. And well, to me it is. I mean, it just screams summer to me, this. And I just love it. And I keep going into the fridge and finding it, finding the crab meat, finding the mayo, slicing the bread. And honestly, I sometimes think in Cornish summer, I could just live on that. And maybe a glass of wine or two.